Hello, my lovelies, and welcome to episode 100. Can you believe it? 100 episodes, right? Okay. If anything alone, this models to you guys persistent, consistent action in a direction of my dreams. That is how I call in what I want to create. If I get off the train of it's got to happen by here, it's got to happen by now. One of my favorite analogies is imagine going to the airport, you're in the UK, and you're like, I want to travel to Australia, but I want to be there now. We'd be like, what? Let's have a journey. Plane. Yeah. You've got to sit in a bit of discomfort. You've got to experience plain food. You've got to get delayed in your transfer. You've got to go on the journey, right? Okay. Same like yoga. You imagine if you're new to yoga, you go onto your mat and you're like, right, I want to be able to do full sun salutation. I want to do the full primary series, right? You'd be like, you've not done yoga before. You've got to go on the journey of learning, right? This is your business. This is you, whatever stage of your business you're at, whatever it is you're looking to call in. Persistent, consistent action in direction of your dreams, not in the place of doing all this stuff and like I'm just shouting into the void and no one's finding me. Oh, but actually I did get a few more followers on Instagram and I did get a few more people into my email list. And you know what? I launched my online course for the first time and only 2 people bought it. I'm a failure. 2 people bought your online course. You are not a failure. Run it to those 2 people. First time you run it, you got to test it through anyway. Get some testimonials, give them the best experience ever. Show up like there's 100 people there, and those 2 people will bring in more people next time you run it. Like you've got to just show up with this vibration of, I know what I have to share with the world is needed for my tribe. This ain't for everyone. I don't want to talk to everyone, right? My course isn't for everyone. I can't enroll the whole world on my course, right? But I know it's needed. And I just got to let the energy of that go out there. And that's what I've done with this podcast. And now it's the same energy that I'm doing with my Substack. So I'm going to talk about this to start with. If you haven't yet joined my Substack community and you love this podcast, you're going to love the Substack community. Get on it. It's almost like with that Substack, I was toying initially with, well, maybe I'll do an extra episode each week of this podcast and have a weekly, like midweek mini-sode. But I was like, no, because I want to collect a community together in a particular space where we can interact more than perhaps like the feeling I get from my podcast. So the Substack is like a weekly 5 to 10 minute video. One week it will be like a business advice. So I've done one on visibility, how to increase your visibility, one on your Instagram bio. They're like short targeted pieces of advice that you can listen to the video and then set aside half an hour and take the action on it. And then we alternate. Sometimes I change my mind, but they're my rules. And then we alternate between like some energy work. So there'd be breath work, meditation, mindfulness practices, affirmations, journaling prompts, restorative yoga, all of that stuff that helps to clear our energy so we tap into that feminine flow, which is then going to inform our actions, our masculine energy to be far more effective, to take that aligned action. Like you can't take aligned action if you haven't connected to what that aligned action is, and you're not going to connect to aligned action unless you get quiet. And I'm like, we've got to do things differently, guys. It's 2024. Pluto's moving permanently into Aquarius at the end of this year. Humanity is changing. I don't care where you look, it's changing. And we have a wonderful opportunity to rise up. This is available to us all. We're all at different stages of our lives, our paths, our life experiences. I really do appreciate this. But we all have an opportunity to get quiet, to connect, to tap into an energy that is available to us all and use this energy to guide in what it is we want to create. And this is what I'm here for. I feel like all my years of practicing yoga, all my years of being in business as a female entrepreneur, all my years of guiding yoga teachers and yoga teacher training and helping yoga teachers in their business. And for so long saying, look, your yoga practice teaches you all you need to know on running a business. I'm now saying this to the world. The practice of yoga, what we're taught in yoga, is what we need to tap into if we want to call in what it is we want to create. Okay, so that's not what today's topic is about, but join my Substack. Get on my Substack, please. And if you're on it, tell your friends. Okay, it's golden. I'm loving Substack as much as I'm loving this podcast. Episode 100. Amy, what is episode 100 about? Okay, this is such a good one today. I'm so excited that this is episode 100 because this is off the back of a conversation that I had with someone, actually not inside my mentorship program, but they just reached out to me on Instagram. And I did give them some free advice because the situation they find themselves in is a bit crap, to be honest. They've spent 6 sort of years establishing a class in a particular area, built up a lovely community around it. And it's a seasonal class, so it's an outside summer-based class, and they're not too far away from where this teacher delivers this class. Someone has come along and is running a free class, same time, free every week. I don't quite end there. She actually knows this person. Okay. It doesn't quite end there. I'm not going to name anyone. This is not what this episode's about, but there are, let's just say diplomatically, if we were to go onto Instagram and look at both teachers, both settings, it is quite hard to tell the difference between two. So this teacher is having a situation where people are getting confused as to which class they're going to. And some people are turning up to her class, anticipating it being the free class. This is so hard because us listening to this, I know right now, this may be what's coming up for us. You're right. This is awful. How can this teacher do this to this person? And there's so much free yoga out there. Oh, this is why my class numbers are low. They don't need to come to class. They can do free yoga on YouTube. Today's topic is about navigating free yoga. Okay. I don't know. I don't really know either of these two teachers. And I do know that if I was that teacher that reached out to me on Instagram, that I would feel everything that she was feeling right now. Absolutely. We've got to allow ourselves to have a human experience and a human reaction. Okay. Allow those things. And this might be the Libra in me, but actually I think it's more, I always have this, and this is Bridget Kramer Wood here. How can I respond from a place of love? So when we see, there are a multitude of reasons why someone will be giving away free yoga, and we see free yoga in a multitude of sessions, a multitude of settings. And I've got, look, go on to my free stuff page. There's some free stuff that you can sign up to, and some of them are pre-recorded yoga classes, right? I give away stuff for free. Or go onto YouTube. I love YouTube. Caroline, Humble Yoga Warrior, brilliant menopause podcast episode. Can't remember what number it is because now there's 100. They're all blurring into one. But she has a brilliant YouTube channel with lots of free yoga. She also has a paid offer, right? And we will see teachers, and I'm not a big fan of this, giving away free classes, first class free. If you're like, why don't you like that, Amy? I tell you why I don't like that. If you've got, whether it's 1, 2, 10, 20, a loyal group of students coming every week, and I just rock up and I'm not one of your loyal clients and I get rewarded by a free class, it really grates on me. So I get why we do first class free. We want to bring people in, give them a chance to try it. I personally would charge them a high rate drop in. Then if they'd like to come back, say, look, you paid this for your drop in. If you'd like to buy into the block, I'm happy to deduct the difference, right? I would do it that I would reward my loyal students, use my super fan to say, hey, if you bring a class to friend, I'll reward you both, right? A friend to class, sorry, I'll reward you both. So we're not rewarding the person who just rocked up, is going to take the free class and not come back, right? Okay. So then this consistent weekly in-person free class, you're like, why is this person doing this? How can this person doing this? We don't know, but how can we be compassionate? Can we be that? Is actually, as hard as it is, nothing to do with me. That is, as I say to my children all the time, I can control my reactions, I control my decisions, I can control my responses. I cannot control what other people do. And would the world be a different place if I didn't make assumptions? Would the world be a different place if I came from a place of love, came from a place of that person will have a reason for that, whatever that reason is. Yeah. But it actually has nothing to do with me. And even harder, if there is free classes on YouTube, teachers giving away one-off free classes, teachers giving away consistent free classes, then for everyone out there in the world who cannot afford to pay for yoga, they can do yoga. That cannot be a bad thing. That cannot be a bad thing. Now, I'm not saying that all yoga should be free, but I am saying, thank God that there is some yoga that is free. All right. Because as yoga teachers, we absolutely want, it's gone really quiet in here. I feel like the universe has come in and gone, this is the message you need to say. I'm getting goosebumps, right? Oh, as yoga teachers, as yoga practitioners, we cannot have the practice of yoga with a teacher gated behind the ability to pay. That is not what we want. That is not what we want, guys. So as much as we may feel aggrieved, aggravated, annoyed by all the free stuff on YouTube, the teacher giving away the free class, right? And I'm not denying that the teacher giving away this weekly free class perhaps could be a little more sensitive to what already exists. And this is a conversation for a different day, isn't it? Like, what is the ethical code of being a yoga teacher? What is those unwritten rules where we are, we're not in competition with each other. Okay, we're not in competition with each other. We've got to get out of this mindset. We've got to come away from fear and scarcity, belief that there's too many yoga teacher training courses, belief that there's too many yoga teachers, belief that it's a saturated market, belief that all this free yoga is bad. Listen, all this free yoga is good. Right? The more people that get access to yoga, the better. And the more people that come into yoga by able to trying it for free, the more likely that they may come in and want to start paying for stuff, right? Because there is a difference of energy exchange between free and paid, right? And I'll be totally upfront, like, if I don't know either of these two teachers, but let's say I wanted to go to yoga in that area and I like Googled it and found them both, and one was free and one was paid. Just me personally, I would choose to go to the paid class because I would have a reassurance on that. Oh, that teacher's charging for that. I have a reassurance that this is going to be a better class, a better experience. I want to pay. I want to be part of the energy exchange. Whereas somebody else might go, oh, do you know what? That class is free. That works for me. I hope you're hearing this, because there's room for us all. There's room for those people that either, whether they can afford it or not, want to engage in the free stuff. And there's room for people who want to pay. There's room for people who want to pay 10 to 15 pounds for a weekly class. There's room for people who want to pay £2,000 for your high price one-to-one program. There's room for people who want to pay £150 per hour for your one-to-one services. There is, and everything in between. All of these people exist. We've just got to understand what it is we're offering and talk to those people. So, you've got to if you find yourself in a situation, and the challenge is people are getting confused between these two teachers and turning up and expecting a free class. I said to this teacher, like, you've got to make it clear in your messaging, the paid yoga class. This is a paid yoga class. This is how much it costs to book your space, book here. So there just needs to be a tweaking of the messaging. And actually, this is an opportunity, right? Because when we feel like competition comes along, it asks us to raise our game in, communicating the value I bring, communicating our experience, communicating, why it is you're going to want to involve yourself in the energy exchange of paying for my yoga class. I use this wonderful analogy so much, but let's take it off the yoga. I've come to on holiday in Cornwall, and there's two pizza restaurants. One pizza restaurant is paying £5 per pizza. One pizza restaurant is charging £15 per pizza. I know nothing about these two restaurants. I haven't seen the pizza. There's no reviews. I know nothing. I tell you now, I would choose more than likely to spend £15 on a pizza, because I would assume the £5 pizza isn't very good. Now, listen, it might be good. And I'm being missold here, but that is when we get caught up in there's all this free stuff, no one's going to want to pay for my stuff. Get caught up in that. I want you to know, for everyone that is looking for free stuff, there are as many people looking to pay. There are as many people actually looking to pay more, because they want the reassurance of that higher price being a seal of, like, I'm going to give you a good experience. And I know now you're like, oh, well then I'm not been teaching very long. I don't think I'm very good. This is imposter syndrome. This is a mindset. I don't feel like I can ask for this money. And this is where we get entangled, right? Okay. If you want to give your classes away for free, or something away for free, and you feel completely energetically aligned for it, I want to say, do it. If you're giving your classes away for free because you feel like you're not good enough to charge, I want to say, don't do it. If you are charging X amount because you think you're not good enough, but actually you are resenting charging this amount, stop. You don't carry on like that, right? An aligned price, and free is a price. An aligned price is one that you can get behind. The reasons why we give stuff away for free are multitude and multidimensional. I'm not sure multi-dimensional the word. The word for that. What do I want to say? Not multi-dimensional. I quite like that. Let's just say multi-dimensional. But they'll be diverse. That's the word I'm looking for. It begins with a D. Diverse. They will be diverse. Okay. And a lot of the time, like, there's that little thing that's free that if people aren't sure about coming into our world, and that energy exchange between money and attending a yoga class, or whatever it is we're asking money for, then the free stuff helps to give them an opportunity to get to know them. Like, so many people that join my mentorship program or sign up to one of my other offers are like, I feel like I know you so well, Amy, because I listen to this podcast. I do this podcast for free every week. No one's saying, oh, I wish Amy would stop turning up for free on her podcast. No one's saying that, right? And I know it's really, really hard, but this is the same but different here. So whatever it is, whenever you see something that causes you contrast, that causes you frustration, I want you to notice that. Why am I being, triggered by this, for want of a better word? Why is this upsetting me? There might be some just genuine reasons that you are being upset by this, right? I'm not denying that. But then what is the message here for me? This is not them coming to attack me. This is not me versus them. We have to move away from that. We have to move away from that. Now, imagine, like, if more of us responded from a place of love, for that person that is upsetting us, send them a whole lot of love, wish them well, leave them to do whatever it is they're doing, because it's got nothing to do with us, and turn our gaze, our attention to what it is we're doing. And if people are coming to my classes confused, thinking it's free, how do I need to change my messaging? How do I need to show up in my broadcast channels to make it clear this is a paid class? Like, I'm an experienced teacher. These are all my qualifications. This is what I'm offering you in this experience. Of course you want to pay for it, right? And of course you have to book to pay to come on, right? Or am I being guided to do something else here? Is there something, can I raise the bar in what I'm offering? I've been doing this for 5 or 6 years now. Is the universe saying, come on, you've got something else in your hair. You can offer something different, a different experience. You could help even more people. It's really interesting. And then for all the free YouTube stuff, right? Here's a great one. When I say to people I'm working with on their prices, going through their prices, common thing that comes back at me, people can't afford that. We're in a cost of living crisis, Amy. I can't put my prices up. Everything's going up for everyone. Love these conversations, right? Love them. Because I'm like, well, first of all, don't make assumptions about people's financial situation. You don't know, right? You don't know. So don't make that assumption. Second of all, yeah, prices have gone up. Okay. inflation has gone up. So if you're not putting your prices up, you're giving yourself a pay cut. Okay. You cannot get a placard and stand outside the local yoga studio and say yoga teachers should be paid more. Because who's responsible for ensuring that happens? You, as yoga teachers. Okay. We are, our students do not want us to be struggling to pay our bills because we haven't put our prices up and we've inadvertently given ourselves a pay cut. Nobody wants that, right? Nobody wants that. So put your prices up. So it is an aligned price. It's one that is an energy exchange that is working for you at this current place and time, right? And then when you think, but not everyone can afford this. No, you are right. Not everyone can afford that. Some people can afford to pay more and want to pay more, and some people can't afford this and can't come to your paid offers. Isn't it damn good there's some free stuff out there? I feel like I'm leaving it at that episode today. Okay. I want to extend a whole load of love to that teacher that reached out to me on Instagram. Okay. I think we have all been there. We have all been there. Maybe I'll finish the story with my story of having been there. I was going back a good many years, but I had 2 very busy mum and baby yoga classes. Honestly, it's about 12 to 15 people every week, both 2 classes a week. They were really busy. I loved these classes. And about 5 minutes away from me, a gym set up. And every morning they were running gym sessions with your baby. So you could turn up and you could do your weights and use the gym with your babies around. And I experienced a situation where my class numbers plummeted, like they literally plummeted. Really went down. More than 50% went down. And I did that thing that, where you go and check social media and you're like, why are they doing that to me? And I saw pictures of women doing stuff postnatally that I was like, questionable without being too judgmental. And then babies sitting around, crawling around, like weights equipment. I was like, well, that would really stress me out if I had a mobile baby. And I was just like, I was so hacked off. This gym rocked up. It was charging less than what I was charging per session. It was dropping. I was charging in blocks. Understandably, that that wanting to get back to your baby body, I understand that why the gym would have been such a strong lure. And I was like, oh, damn it. I was so upset, and I don't know how I carried on, but I did have some women continuing, and I turned my attention to them. I was like, I'm just so grateful these women are still coming. I'm going to serve them. I'm going to show up for them. I'm going to stand in my power and not be like, these are the exercises you shouldn't do in the postnatal period, but be very much like, this is the postnatal period. This is what I recommend. That nurturing, healing, reconnecting, rediscovering, I dialed down my messaging on why they should come to mum and baby yoga, not from a place of, by the way, I'm better than that gym. What I'm offering you is better, but from a place of what I'm offering is really good. And you know what? It took a bit of time, but my numbers picked back up. And that gym is no longer there. That doesn't mean like it's got anything to do with what they were offering, but I had to be in it for the long game. I had to sit in that period where something came along and did impact my numbers, and they hadn't turned up. And I don't think anybody does this. And if they do, they're really not going to last long in business. They hadn't turned up and gone, right, we're going to target that yoga teacher teaching mum and baby yoga in St. Agnes. They'd set up a gym and they're like, well, we're quiet in the mornings. What can we do to, and it's a good idea. What can we do to offer something to a demographic that is around, right? I get it, right? I get it. And I think when we feel like someone, whatever it is, some business, some teacher, whatever, comes onto our patch. And I think maybe if you're like living in more densely populated areas, this is less of a problem. In Cornwall, it can feel a little bit like, this is my patch. But someone comes into your little world that you've created, and offering something similar, like maybe cheaper, all of that stuff. I know what it can feel like. Okay. But all I can do is stand in my power. All I can do is stand in my truth. All I can do is like really dial down on my messaging and what I bring and make those invitations to people, marketing and selling. But there is always going to be free yoga. I am grateful that there is free yoga. I do not believe for 1 minute that the free yoga on YouTube is impacting people's attendance to yoga classes, because have a look at the statistics. Okay. The yoga industry has grown during the growth period of YouTube. Okay. So maybe we need to adapt. Maybe we need to change. Maybe we need to think about the experiences that we're giving people so they get something different from the free class on YouTube, which of course they do, right? Okay. They don't even have to think, like, there is a big difference between doing a free class on YouTube and coming to your paid classes, right? Maybe I need to talk about that. Maybe I need to talk about the importance of having a teacher guiding you physically in person, right? Okay. And maybe for me, being in the online world has helped me with this, because like, I know when you're teaching locally as a teacher, it can feel like it can feel like it's like a big world. Like, you notice anything new coming in and anything changing. Like, you go into the online world, it's so big. Like, there is literally room for us all. The world is a big place, but even where you live is a big place. And if you think about the numbers that you want to your classes, there's room for the paid, there's room for the free, there's room for the cheaper classes, there's room for the more expensive classes. There's literally room for us all. There is room for us all. All right, my darlings, go and enjoy some free yoga on YouTube. I've got a few classes on my YouTube channel. Go and sign up to some of my free stuff. And I will just see you all next week.